Alright, welcome back. I did a little bit of work off camera and I'll explain why in a second. So if you may remember, I was contemplating what to do with this edge here because it was chipped, broken in many places. And originally I thought that maybe I'll just patch it up with a top layer of concrete or patching compound. But actually I decided to do something slightly different, and as you may be able to see, I actually did grind it out. As you can see, basically put some bevel or bull nose, chamfer, basically around it. It's not even around it, I just took the edge off the corner. One reason for that is because there's a long line and its sole was chipped up, so patching it up would be kind of annoying. But more importantly, actually this side is a little bit higher right now, well, it was actually before, than this side, so that actually created a little bit of a ridge. It was fairly small, but I might as well level it up by grinding this this edge here, and as you can see, that's pretty much what I have done. Like all the way here. So now it looks more or less uniform, the same angle, the same distance, and then I will still need to cover it up with some top coat here, and that's prepped up for that. So how have I done it? I used well a favorite tool for pretty much any fabricators out there, and that's an angle grinder. Alright, so having said that, that's the wheel that I have used to grind this lip on the edge of the concrete, and that worked really well. So basically, as you can see, there are different wheel types here. Like there's this one, that you can use if you want to do cut on the edge, get in the groove or things like that. There are cutting wheels that are even thinner and cut even thinner grooves. But if you want to do the flat area removal, sort of more like this way, or grind on the edge, you want to have a what's called cup wheel. Look, you see it looks almost like a cup. That's where the surface, that's going to be a work surface area. And there are two major types that you want to use for concrete. They're all diamond wheels. So this one is called double row. As you can see, there are 2 rows of segments here. And that's what you want to use for fast removal. So if you have a lot of stuff to grind, a lot of material removal quickly, that's your wheel of choice. There are different ones, I don't have them right now, but basically there is a single row. It doesn't go like that in a radial fashion, but it goes sort of perpendicular to that, more or less. And that's what you want to use if you want to do a flat surface, not as aggressive on the removal, but more of like sort of like flat on the surface. That's also you can use to prep up the surface for a concrete surface. So, having said that, what I have done is took this wheel and this angle grinder, and I just move there and I can show you. And also explain why I didn't film it really. Yeah, so basically what you want to do is, let me see, I don't have it connected right now. You got the grinder and you just go like that. However, the problem with any stone grinder and concrete grinder in particular, it generates a lot of dust. So, and that's a really fine dust, not like sand. It's really, it gets everywhere. It stays in there for a long time. You don't want this stuff. So a couple of things. First of all, protection equipment. So you need to use eye protection, and for that I actually like to use let me see, these ones. They're slightly different from your usual, they look almost like a ski goggles. The usual safety glasses, what they have is they protect you. They're like that, but they have a lot of holes around that. They protect from a direct shrapnel, so to speak. So if you're grinding metal, let's say, and things fly straight from the wheel, that's okay. So that's the safety glass. The other safety glasses work fine for that. However, here, if you are grinding dry and generate a lot of fine powder, fine dust, this fine dust will get everywhere, and it doesn't fly just directly towards you. It gets into a cloud, and it gets on the sideways, and from the bottom, from the sides. So these are more or less sealed around your face. So if you put it on, basically the dust does not get into your eyes. That's a good thing. They tend to fog a little bit more, but they can't have everything. And you also need to wear a respirator. There are different kinds, but some kind of, ideally the one that is good against fine dust. So, but more importantly, the ideal thing to do is not to generate dust, at least around you, at all, or at least as much as you can avoid that. There are a couple of ways to deal with that. One is there are attachments to grinders that basically have a vacuum connector, and as you grind, most of the fine dust is getting sucked out into a vacuum, so it doesn't get spread out. They're not perfect, but they help a lot. And if you're working on the inside with concrete or any stone, that's probably your only option, really. Now the other option is to do it wet, and that's basically what I did here. And that means you flood the area where you work with water, and that means any ground particles that are being generated as you work with them are getting flushed away with water. So you don't generate dust, but what happens then, you still generate a bit of mud, and it kind of gets splattered everywhere, but that's a lot easier to deal with than dust. So I'll just briefly show you very quickly how it's done, or how I did that, so you just get an idea, but I have done already pretty much all of that. So let me just get the battery. And again, right now I'm not wearing the respirator. I should, but again, I'm not doing any real work, just showing it up and talking to camera, so that's why. Don't do it without the respirator. This stuff is not good for you. So here's what happens if you work dry. And I don't know how much you will be able to see that, but basically the cloud dusts start to get generated very quickly. And you probably want to wear ear protection as well if you're working for any period of time. Again, here I'm not doing any actual work, so that's okay, but grinders are loud, so use ear protection. Okay, again, you may not have seen that as much, but they're basically already, it's kind of hard to register on camera. There's already started to, like, the cloud of dust, and I haven't even done any real grinding there. So yeah, that's definitely not ideal if you can avoid that. So now this is how it works with doing it wet. So we'll just start flooding the area with water, and it helps if somebody else helps you here, but we'll just do it like that. So you can see I'm not pointing right away at the area where I'm going to be working it, but there's enough water here to flush anything that is being generated. So basically do exactly the same thing. Don't stick your grinder into the stream itself. And again, that helps that we're using the cordless grinder here. That's less chance of getting electrocuted. I know people have done it. I do it a lot with the corded grinders. It's not super safe, but again, it has been done many times. So if you can avoid that, don't do that. And if you can use cordless, use cordless. So there's that. And that's basically how I have done the whole thing. Again, so this will take a little bit longer than that.